Well, hello, wonderful people. This is Matthew. Welcome to the second tutorial on making your games with Platform Builder. Today we'll be checking out your workstation and how to start building your games. I'm using Platform Builder version 3.2, and I'll be covering page 4 of the in-game manual. So let's get back into that game that we made from the previous tutorial. This starts you in the overworld editor. I want to actually demonstrate some things for you in the course editor, so I will enter an area. Okay, your workstation is this down here. It is all the different tools and things that you get to use to start constructing your game that you make with Platform Builder. Most importantly, I believe, is this one right here. This button will open up your item box. Your item box displays all of the different items that you get to choose from to use in your game. So for instance, I can select this block item, and you see that it says blocks down here because that's what it is, and then I can click anywhere into the game window and it will place the block. I can also right click to delete the blocks. I can click and drag to place multiple ones, right click and drag to delete multiple ones. Lots of items also have sub items, and so for instance this is just one type of block, but you can see different types by using these up and down arrow keys. You can also press up and down on your keyboard, or you can use the mouse wheel to move between the different sub items of blocks. Some items, like for instance this ground piece, has a lot of different sub items, and it'll take you a long time to go through all of them to find the ones that you're looking for. So in order to help speed up that process, I've added something called a Tileset Viewer. So for items like these, where there's tons of sub items, you click on the Tileset Viewer and it will display a tile set of all the different sub items that you have to choose from for this particular item. So for instance, I wanted to construct something with the ground pieces. I could click on this one right up here, drop that in, press the hotkey for the Tileset Viewer, which is T, select the next one, press the hotkey again, the next one, and I can just start constructing things like this. Now there's actually a much quicker way to do it even still, and that's with the Smart tool, and I'll show you that in a future video. But for now, it's good to know that you have this for you to display all of the different sub items at once. One thing too with the item box is that you can move stuff around. Now why is this useful for you? Part of it is to just help you categorize, but another reason is because you have these arrow keys which move your selection from left to right, top to bottom, or in reverse if you use the other item. You can also use the keys on your keyboard to do that as well. But the useful thing about that is, say if you're using this and this and this very often in a particular course that you're working on, you can select it and then use these buttons to move between them nice and quickly. You can also keep that open and move between that. So that's there for you. That's why we have all this extra space down here, because it just gives you some room if you want to help organize your items up here in special different ways. I want to show you the rest of the things in the workstation. I promise this will be a lot quicker than going through item placement and all of that. The menu button, we've already seen that, lets you pop between different areas of Platform Builder. The undo button is useful obviously to undo. You can click on that and it'll undo what you place down. You can also use Control Z to undo. You can use Control Y to redo. So that's there for you. The Smart button we'll talk about later. Move tool, you can click on that, click and drag, release, or you can just click once, click a second time if you prefer to move things that way. Edit tool can be useful for certain items. So for instance, the sign. Where is the sign? I'll find it this way. Click on that and signs. There's my sign. Sign items can be changed. So for instance, I place a sign, it'll have a message for the character in the game. Default is hello. You can change that to however you want, whatever you want. Hit OK, and that's what the sign will display. But if you want to change that, that's what the edit key is for. So you click on that, it'll highlight things which can be changed, like signs. Click on that and you can change it back. Copy, obviously, you click on that, it works like a eyedropper tool. So you can copy the cannon or the sign or whatever it is, it'll select that for you. All right, the grid key. let's see, how do I explain this? So for instance, if I am working with ground pieces and I want to draw a nice smooth line across, I can do this and oh shoot, like I'm moving all over the place. I wasn't able to do a straight line. You can try that a little, try it again, be a little more careful, more slow, but you can also click on this and it will change the grid for you to determine how things are locked in place on your screen. So now my grid is less precise, which is to my advantage. I can click and drag and I can create a nice straight line that way, like so. Anyway, so that's useful for you. The grid can be adjusted in different ways. You can also remove the grid for lots of items if you want total free placement for where you put things. That can be useful for you as well. Let's see, the grid backgrounds. Change your background. You can add some movement if you want. I don't want that. Turn that off. You can change the music. So for instance, click on that, test it out. Nice little ditty. I actually wrote that one myself. Fun fact, some of this music I wrote myself, some of it I purchased. If it sounds pretty good, probably because I purchased it. Anyway, but you can test it out. You can actually keep working on your game as you listen to this fine music, or you can stop that. Save, obviously save your game. Useful for you. Platform Builder does save automatically as you move between different courses and the overworlds and as you move around using the menu, but you also may want to just save occasionally if you've been working in the same area for a long period of time. Keep that for you. There's music settings. This can be nice if you want to mess with different parts of your area. So you can, like I just showed you, you can change lens effects, camera effects, you can make it rain, all different sorts of fun stuff. The manual, which is explanation of all the different parts of Platform Builder. I'm actually explaining this to you via video, so you may not need this as much, but it can still be helpful for you. Oh, and of course, this guy right here, this is your assistant. I'm waving my hands in excitement because this is one of my most favorite parts of Platform Builder. This will tell you about almost anything inside Platform Builder. It is so useful. So for instance, if I want to learn about this enemy, right click on him, it will tell you what the enemy does. You can pause with the P button, unpause with P, hold Q to go quicker. You can press escape to end that prematurely. I can go to a different enemy, right click on him, and it'll tell me what he does. Hit escape. It'll tell you any of this stuff. It'll tell you what it is. It'll tell you what this button does by right click. It'll tell you what the menu does. It'll tell you all these different sorts of things. So it's super useful. Just right click on almost anything. You click on menu, it'll tell you about these different types of things. So that's there for you. It is so useful. Also, if you click on him, he'll open up a little like, how can I help you? And you can ask him, where am I? If I press 1 right now, he'll start talking to me about the course editor. Or surprise me, random information, a tutorial that's built in that he will lead you through, or she, depending on, I don't know, it's a word bubble, whatever. Anyway, or press 4 to get out of that. So there you have it. That is your workstation. There's a test. I never even showed you test. Oh, shame on me. Drop that down. I'm going to add my character in there. Because we're running in advanced mode, there's this menu that pops up. I'm just going to leave it default. I'll explain that later. And when I test it, the same menu or similar menu shows up, again default. And now we are playing our first little mini game. My apologies if the video is a bit laggy right now. I'm not running on the best machine, and it's difficult when I'm also recording a video at the same time, but hopefully that worked out pretty well. Anyway, there you go. One more thing. Let me go to the game screen editor. I want to show you something that's useful. In your game screens, notice that I have a title for my game that is displayed up here. My awesome game. I did that through this button. This is available for you only in game screen editors. It is your text button. The title right now is what I have displayed, and it's using this font. I can change that around if I want, change the size, hit continue. I can change the text to the game. I don't know. Anyway, and it'll display it. Use the arrow keys to place it down. There you go. There's also the selection key, which you can do like so. place stuff down, select the world that it starts in, and now you have your selections visible. So when I test that, I can start a new game, whatever. It'll close out for me unless I actually do a full run. Anyway, I'm mumbling to myself. So, point being is, I hope that was helpful for you. That is the Workstation in a nutshell. There's some other things and features that I'll be showing you in the next video. Very helpful when you get to know how to use the Smart tool and other placement things that you can do to help speed up your game creation process. I look forward to showing you that in the next video, and I will see you then.